Okay, so when we come to animation now, the trick is going to be in moving the mop with the pelvis bone, not with the tailbone. Okay, so for example, I don't want to move it like this. I need to move it like this. Okay, so let's go back to frame 1. Okay, we'll call this our rest frame or our starting frame. It's the same as the rest pose, and we will keyframe this, and I'll do lock, rot and scale for the first one. Okay, let me go into kind of a front view here, and I'm not going to do an elaborate animation because that could take way too long. I'm just going to do a quick one. So say the first part of the animation, we wanted to dip the mop into the bucket. Okay, so to do that, rather than grabbing the tailbone and trying to dip it in, we need to do it with the pelvis bone and do it that way. Okay, so let's advance, I don't know, let's say 10 frames. Okay, let's grab this and place it about there. Eye available. Okay, let's advance another 10 frames. Grab it on the x-axis, move it about there. Eye available, and let's come 5 frames, grab on the Z and dunk it in, and keyframe that. Eye available. Alright, let's come across to dope sheet here, and if we advance another 5 frames to 30, okay, we just box select these, Control C to copy, and then Control V to place those there. Okay, let's advance another 10 frames, so make that 40. We'll box select this next keyframe just to make sure we got all those. Control C and Control V to paste that there, which is move that back to there, and we'll do the same here. I will Control C and move this another 10 frames to 50, and Control V. Alright, so that's an ending frame of 50. Let's set my end here to 50. Let's play, see what happens. Okay, not a very good animation, but it is doing kind of what we expected. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning. Let's our first gap with 10 frames, so let's just come up to about frame 5. What I'm going to do here is kind of straighten this mop out a little. So let's take this bone, rotate it on the X, Work our way down, rotating it down a little. Okay. Okay. So let's select these bones. Available. Okay. And we can come 5 frames to the end, so frame 45. So let me just box select these and come back to frame 45. Which should put us in the same position. And available. Now let's see what's happening here. So I'll come back to the beginning. Okay, I'm getting this kind of little flick here. Let's see if we can't isolate that. So, as we're lifting the mop starts to droop, which is what I would expect. Drop the mop in. It's going below the bucket. We can work on that in a second. In fact, let's do that now. Let us grab this, go into a front view, and G, Z, so it doesn't poke through the bottom of the bucket. Okay, so let's scrub this back a bit. Let's go into the bucket, back out, across. Okay, here's where we get our flick, is when we come back to frame 50. This is not flicking back up again. So I think in that case frame 50, we only went to frame 45. What happens at 45? Okay. So I think frame 50 we need to duplicate frame 1. Okay, we're on frame 50, so let's Control C, frame 1, and Control V onto frame 50. There we go. So that's moved the tail back up again. So let's see how that looks. That's better. Alright. Obviously we can do more and work on this and add to it and have them mopping around and what have you. But this should be enough to test this animation. So I'm going to pause the animation. Let's go back to frame 1. I am going to go into object mode. I'm going to select the bucket, the mop, and shift select the rig, and export as Collada default. I'm not going to use Avastar. Collada default. On the default, use the rig settings. Let's call that Gmop. Gmop 1. Let's do that on my desktop. Just checking all here. items. These should all be selected anyway, and we'll still in documents. I'm going to do that on my desktop. Sorry. We'll export Collada Gmod1